Since we last discussed the Zika virus, we continue to be learning pretty much every day, and most of what we're learning is not reassuring. That the virus is linked to a broader set of complications in pregnancy, not just the microcephaly, but also prematurity, blind eye problems, and some other conditions. We have learned that the mosquito vector, the Aedes aegypti mosquito, is present in a broader range of states in the continental U.S. You know, much of our predictions... But we absolutely need to be ready. You know, as Dr. Fauci was saying, everything we look at with this virus seems to be a bit scarier than we initially thought. And so while we absolutely hope we don't see widespread local transmission in the continental U.S., we need the states to be ready for that. And that was
Florida Governor Rick Scott has recently come under fire for waiting too long to tell the public about the 5 new Zika cases in Miami Beach.
I want to make sure everybody in our state and everybody that's going to come here, you know exactly what's going on. It's very important.
The new cases come as Miami-Dade continues to battle the mosquito-borne virus in the Wynwood's Arts District of Miami. That was the site of the first locally transmitted cases of Zika in the U.S. Zika has been shown to cause a severe birth defect known as microcephaly.
Officials in Miami are hoping this liquid being sprayed from the skies will be enough to kill the mosquitoes that carry the Zika virus.
The most fearful thing is I don't want to have a child who ends up with some of the severe cerebral defects that are being talked about, including microencephaly.
Florida Governor Rick Scott is downplaying the danger.
We've tested over 20,000 mosquitoes now in our state, and we've not found one mosquito with Zika.
Pregnant women should avoid Miami Beach. That from federal health officials after new cases of Zika transmission have been confirmed in the popular tourist town. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has also suggested pregnant women worried about exposure to Zika should consider avoiding all of Miami-Dade County. The new warnings present a challenge to Florida's multi-billion-dollar tourism industry.
Florida Governor Rick Scott is downplaying the danger.
We've tested over 20,000 mosquitoes now in our state, and we've not found one mosquito with Zika.
We now know that there are mosquitoes in the state of Florida that are carrying the Zika virus, and 4 Floridians have been infected. This problem will only get worse, not better, unless we get ahead of it. Because the time to act is now. We have waited far too long. It should never have gotten to this point. Now, there is about $300 million of funds available to the federal government right now. And earlier this week, I wrote the president a letter and I asked him to fully spend the money that he already has access to. Don't hold it back to play political games. Zika is not a partisan issue. It is not a political issue. Zika doesn't just bite Republicans or Democrats or independents. It bites everyone. And Zika isn't just a threat to pregnant women and unborn children, which is a serious enough threat as it is. It has now been linked to Guillain-Barré, a very serious central nervous condition that often proves fatal. The time to act is now. We have waited far too long. I believe Congress should go back to Washington as soon as possible and approve additional funding to deal with this issue before it becomes a full-blown crisis.
A person cannot die from contracting the Zika virus. However, researchers say the Zika virus causes microcephaly, a rare birth defect. Zika has also been linked to other birth defects that include vision and hearing problems. Scientists are also investigating a link between Guillain-Barré syndrome and Zika. The virus may also be associated with another neurological disorder in adults. It's called acute disseminated encephalomyelitis, or ADEM, which is similar to multiple sclerosis.
Florida Governor Rick Scott is downplaying the danger.
We've tested over 20,000 mosquitoes now in our state, and we've not found one mosquito with Zika.
Right now, our focus is to try to stop transmission in that area as rapidly as possible, understanding that that can be very difficult. When when dengue hit the Florida Keys a few years ago, it took over a year to control that outbreak. Now we've learned since then, we have new things we can try. I'll be heading to Miami tomorrow to get a sense of what's being done and what more can possibly be done to protect people in this and in other areas. We kill mosquitoes effectively, but this is a tough mosquito to kill. It lives indoors and out.
Marisa do Amor Divino doesn't live in Villa Autodromo anymore. Her house was torn down. But before it was, she contracted the Zika virus. With the Olympic Games less than 6 months away, she's imploring the government to do more for locals and visitors alike.
O que eu passei, eu não desejo para ninguém, não. Sou sincera.
I do not wish on anybody what I went through. It was horrible. Nobody deserves to come here from abroad, athletes to come here and to go through that for the love of God.
20,000 mosquitoes now in our state, and we've not found one mosquito with Zika.
Possible homegrown Zika may be in other neighborhoods in Miami-Dade, just not yet detected.
We found the messaging from the governor's office to be very dissatisfying, frankly misleading.
Senior Florida Department of Health doctors telling NBC News they are frustrated Florida's governor won't let them talk.
Have you muzzled them? Are you putting the economy of this state over the health of the citizens?
We want to make sure every citizen in the state knows what's going on. That 4 people in our state likely have the Zika virus as a result of a mosquito bite. This means Florida has become the first state in our nation to have local transmission of the Zika virus. All 4 of these people live in Miami-Dade and Broward counties. All 4 of the people live in Miami-Dade and Broward counties. And the Florida Department of Health believes that active transmissions of this virus could be occurring in one small area in Miami-Dade County, and it's just north of downtown. This area is about 1 square mile, and Dr. Phillip will give the exact location a little bit later. One of these 4 cases involves a woman, and the other 3 cases involve men. They are all active Zika cases and have not exhibited symptoms to be admitted to the hospital. Testing of mosquitoes in this area has been happening in this area where the small area for about 2 weeks. While no mosquito traps have tested positive for the Zika virus, the Department of Health is aggressively testing people in the affected area to ensure there are no other cases of this virus.
territory, but we now want that virus take set pan we. So make sure send no stagnant water inside and mash up all mosquito breed inside. More hole in the tin them where you dash way and change the water in your vase every day. No litter, dispose of your garbage proper. You know them the thing that we turn drain backer. Tour your community and tour your yard for suppress mosquito. We have figure hard dash we old tire turn over drum pan for prevention is the greatest weapon. And special shout out to pregnant ladies. Protect yourselves and protect your babies. Draw for your zapper and your mosquito spray. We do all that we can to keep them away. For we know war Zika V.